My name is Pittampalli. I'm the author of a book called Persuadable, which is how great leaders change their minds to change the world. And essentially I work with lots of Fortune 500 organizations and their leadership teams to try to help them adapt to changing times by helping them understand the best ways to change their own minds. The talk was titled Better Decisions Faster. You know, what I argue is that leaders right now are making more decisions than ever, because in times of change we have to make a lot of decisions. And what they're forced to do is to try to make better decisions and to make them faster. And my kind of fundamental thesis was that you can't, right? That kind of defies the laws of physics. What you really need to do is choose whether you want to make a better decision or a faster decision. So when it comes to the important decisions facing the organization, make a better decision. When it comes to some of the more minor decisions, which are plentiful in our organization, make a faster decision. And so discriminating between those two things, the major from the minor, I think is one of the central tasks for modern executives. First of all, Dubai is an amazing place. I mean, I would love to spend more time in seeing all the sights, and it's a wonderful culture. I would say that I attend a lot of HR conferences in the States and here, and it's amazing to see how much is different, but how much is the same. I think that human behavior is human behavior, and I think that what you find is a lot of the challenges that HR leaders face here are the same that you'll see in the United States. And so it's trying to go beyond culture, I think, and trying to figure out what is at the base of human psychology that often lends to some of the challenges and the opportunities, and that's where I come in. I try to figure out what are some of the drivers of motivation and how can we use that to capitalize on them. It's a wonderful conference. I think anytime HR leaders are able to get into a room together and not have to be stressed out about their current day-to-day activities and talk about the bigger, more strategic things, I think is a wonderful idea. Well, first of all, I think in order to understand the future of work, we have to define that word work, because I think that human resources executives and leaders, they define it a certain way, right? Whether it be talent, culture, managing diversity. But I think work really comes down to decisions, right? The basic unit of performance, no matter what an executive is the decision. And I think that what they do for a living is to make these decisions, and they have to do them well. So I think we step back from some of the content and we look at the structure, we'll find that in a world that's changing faster than ever, the number of decisions that goes up, or the number of decisions that we need to make on a daily and a weekly basis goes up dramatically. So the future of work is to figure out what are the frameworks and the skills we need to manage this kind of abundance of decisions. And I think that this idea of discriminating between the major and the minor to lead differently when it comes to important decisions and versus minor decisions is at the center of this. I am optimistic and pessimistic about leadership. I think that one of the things that needs to happen is that leaders need to be more persuadable. That we live in a world and we live in a culture, both here and everywhere else in the world, where leaders are taught that they need to be persuasive, that just biologically we want to help persuade other people, we want to give them our ideas, we want to win arguments. And I think that the future of leadership has to be about the willingness to lose arguments. That the human brain is not capable of processing all the information, all the data that not only is happening right now, but in a world where that is going up exponentially. So what we have to do is we have to defer to other people. We need other people to challenge our thinking. And that is something that's an opportunity, but it's a challenge for human beings because it kind of goes against the way we're wired. So am I optimistic? Yes, but I'm realistic in the sense that we need to do a lot of work to be able to manage that. So I think the most important priority for HR has to be culture. I mean, HRs are the stewards of culture, and I think that culture sounds like this soft amorphous thing that only recently have we realized is kind of the whole ball game. That org charts used to be great because they could tell us We could just look at it to see who needs to make the decision and how we can act. And yet in a world that is increasingly complex and uncertain, the org chart doesn't work anymore. That what we need is a culture of human beings that have these habits and have these mindsets that allow them to make decisions on the spot. And so I think that HR needs to be at the forefront of that, and they have to figure out what culture do we need that will help us thrive in a changing environment, and how do we get there? Because if they don't do it, no one else will.